The iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let's just say it out loud in the first 5 seconds so YouTube knows we're serious. This thing has been dragging the internet into a debate war since it dropped, with half the crowd yelling boring and the other half acting like Tim Cook just reinvented the wheel. But here's the truth. While the headlines might call it a disappointment, if you actually look closely, Apple snuck in some savage upgrades that make the iPhone 16 Pro look like a starter pack. And no, I'm not talking about a new wallpaper or a slightly shinier shade of titanium. I'm talking about features that change the way you actually use this beast, some of which are hilariously over-engineered, and others that finally catch Apple up to tech we've been roasting them for since forever. And trust me, the final upgrade is so ridiculous, it makes the iPhone 17 Pro Max more powerful than some MacBooks. And no, I'm not exaggerating. Stick around. First up, let's talk selfies because yes, Apple just made the front camera a headline feature. The iPhone 17 Pro Max now has an 18 megapixel center stage selfie shooter. Sounds random, right? Here's the twist. It's actually a 24 megapixel square sensor, but Apple's cropping it depending on whether you're solo flexing or cramming in your entire brunch squad. Hold the phone vertically and somehow everybody fits. Rotate it, doesn't matter, the camera literally adjusts itself like a Hollywood director making sure you don't cut Aunt Linda out of the shot. And for video, that square sensor lets Apple move the active recording zone around in real time, almost like having your own cameraman following the action. Honestly, it's creepy good. Now let's move to zoom. Apple is hyping this as 8 times optical zoom. But let's keep it real, it's actually 4 times optical with some software wizardry that makes it look way better than it should. Remember when Apple gave us that fake but glorious 2 times mode on the 48 megapixel sensor a couple years back? Same trick, new lens. It crops right into the telephoto sensor's center and the results way sharper than you'd expect. People online are already posting side-by-sides and the difference is wild. It's the kind of photo upgrade that makes you think, do I actually need to bring a DSLR or can I just wing it with my phone? Spoiler, you'll still use the iPhone. And thank the tech gods, Apple finally addressed the single most annoying part of using an iPhone in public, screen glare. The iPhone 17 Pro Max comes with an anti-reflective display that tops out at 3,000 nights outdoors. That's not just brighter than last year, it's bright enough to double as a tanning bed. I mean, if you've ever been in your car trying to check Google Maps while your phone turns into a literal mirror, this is the fix. Finally, you'll actually be able to see the screen in daylight without squinting like you're deciphering hieroglyphics. Speaking of daylight, let's talk battery because Apple is officially flexing now. The smaller 17 Pro matches the 16 Pro Max with 33 hours of rated video playback. Think about that. The smaller model is basically as strong as last year's Max, and then the 17 Pro Max itself gets an even bigger battery than the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Translation: you can binge TikTok, watch Oppenheimer, and still have enough juice to argue with strangers in the YouTube comment section. Honestly, this might be Apple's sneakiest W because longer battery life is the one thing nobody ever complains about. But Apple didn't just stop at endurance. They went for raw power. For the first time ever, the iPhone 17 Pro Max has a vapor chamber cooling system. Yeah, the same tech you've seen in gaming laptops now lives in your pocket. Apple says it gives 40% better sustained performance, which is insane because the 16 Pro Max was already dunking on the Galaxy S25 Ultra in gaming tests. This means no more random overheating when you're running heavy apps, no more screen dimming like your phone is embarrassed, and yes, you can finally run Genshin Impact without the phone trying to roast your hands like a space heater. Design-wise, the iPhone 17 Pro Max finally looks like something new thanks to a full aluminum unibody. And here's the kicker. Aluminum is 150 times better at transferring heat than glass. That means less overheating, room for those bigger batteries, and space to fit in larger camera sensors like that chunky 48 megapixel telephoto. Plus, it just looks clean. Honestly, after years of iPhones looking identical from the back, this is a refresh that actually feels like you upgraded instead of just rebought. Now, I know Android fans love to roast Apple's snail-paced charging speeds, but guess what? Apple is finally catching up. The iPhone 17 Pro Max now supports 40-watt charging, meaning you can juice it to 50% in just 20 minutes. Is it the fastest in the world? Number. Is it the fastest for Apple? Hell yes. No more panic at 5% before leaving the house. You can literally plug in while brushing your teeth and be ready to go. But the durability, Apple heard the memes. Ceramic shield glass isn't just on the front anymore. It's on the back too. And since the edges are now aluminum, your odds of completely shattering your iPhone with one unlucky drop just went way down. No more Spider-Man back glass, at least not as easily. And tucked under the hood is something nerds are going to love, the new Apple N1 chip. This thing handles Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread, which sounds boring until you realize it means Apple is finally in full control of every wireless connection on your iPhone. That moment when you walk out of your house and your Wi-Fi clings on like a toxic ex instead of switching to 5G, gone. The N1 chip makes that handoff instant, which means no more dead zones while Spotify decides if you deserve music. Finally, the absolute mic drop moment. The A19 Pro chip. This thing is benchmarked at 40% faster graphics than before. And the CPU? It's hitting numbers higher than the M2 MacBook Air. In fact, single-core scores are brushing against Apple's brand new M4 Max chip. Multi-core results even outrank the old 28-core Intel Xeon Mac Pro tower that used to cost 10 grand. Think about that. Your phone, like the thing you doom scroll TikTok on, is now faster than a professional workstation. That's not just overkill, that's Apple flexing, like The Rock in a toddler's sandbox. So here's the real takeaway. The iPhone 17 Pro Max might not look like a revolution at first glance, but under the hood, it's a beast. Between the insane battery life, the vapor chamber cooling, the crazy bright anti-reflective screen, and a chip that outmuscles full-on computers, this is Apple proving they can still surprise us. The question is, are these upgrades enough to make you ditch your 16 Pro, or are you sitting this one out waiting for the iPhone 18 to beam holograms straight into your living room? Let me know in the comments, because I know the Apple versus Samsung keyboard warriors are already sharpening their knives. And if you thought this was wild, you'll want to stick around for the next video, because I'm breaking down the iPhone 17 Air versus Pro and why Apple might be trying to kill the entire Plus lineup. So hit subscribe, smash the like, and keep that bell on, because trust me, you don't want to miss the tea we're about to spill. Peace out.